In the heart of an isolated mountain village, Kuba, a young woman known for her deep connection to her ancestors, lives in an ancient stone house passed down for generations. Every year, on a moonless night, she performs a strange and secretive ritual within its walls, an unsettling event that no one dares to speak of. Kuba walked slowly through the darkened halls of her home, the weight of her ancestors' whispers pressing on her from all sides. Her fingers traced the old, crumbling walls, feeling the pulse of the ancient energy buried deep within the stone. This night marked the beginning of the Black Moon Rite, a ceremony shrouded in secrecy and filled with traditions that had been passed down in her family for centuries. As the clock struck midnight, she began the ritual. In the center of her living room, Kuba knelt, lighting candles placed in a perfect circle. The flickering flames cast eerie shadows across the room, dancing in tune with the whispers growing louder. She opened a small wooden box that had been handed down through her bloodline, its contents unknown to anyone but the chosen member of the family who performed the rite. Inside was a bundle of braided hair, brittle with age, a silver bell that rang without sound, and a vial of thick black liquid. Kuba dipped her fingers into the vial, coating her fingertips in the strange substance, and marked her face in 4 lines, 2 horizontal, 2 vertical. Suddenly, the walls around her seemed to shift, warping as if the house itself was breathing. The air grew thick, making it hard to breathe, and the ground beneath her began to tremble. Kuba closed her eyes, listening for the familiar voice she knew would come. The voice of her ancestor, who would guide her through the next steps. But this time, something was wrong. Instead of the comforting guidance she expected, a different presence entered the room, one filled with anger and sorrow, a shadow of a long-forgotten spirit. The room grew cold, and the candles flickered violently as a figure emerged from the darkness. It was the shape of a woman, her face hidden behind a veil of black hair, her voice a soft, anguished cry. Kuba's heart raced, but she stood her ground. This was part of the ritual, testing her resolve, her strength. But the figure drew closer, and with each step, the air became heavier. The voice in Kuba's head was no longer her ancestors, it was this woman's. "Why have you forgotten me?" the voice whispered, chilling her to the bone. Suddenly, Kuba understood. This spirit was not part of the ritual, but a long-buried soul tied to the house, forgotten by history and lost in the endless cycle of rituals. She was a remnant of a dark past, and now she wanted to be remembered. As Kuba faced the spirit, the walls of her house groaned, the floorboards creaked, and the strange items in the box began to glow. The ritual had gone terribly wrong, or perhaps it had finally uncovered the truth her family had been hiding for generations.